In today's episode of the Financial Planning series, I'm going to talk to you about the 5 common mistakes that usually wreck your financial goals. If you're ready, let's get started. Alright, so before we get started, please hit on the subscribe button if you have still not subscribed to the channel, because it helps and motivates us to do a lot of content for you. And I would like you to also hit on the like button if you're enjoying the video, and most importantly, share with all your contact as well. And let me know what you think about the video as you watch it. Anything you want me to do, financial management, I'll be glad to do that for you. So if you have watched and followed this series for some time now, in my previous session I talked about the 5 things that must always feature for you to have a good financial plan. If you haven't yet watched it, I'll leave the link in the description below so that you go watch everything after this video. Today I'm talking about the mistakes that can deny you of that precious financial goal you want to achieve. The first mistake you should avoid is setting unrealistic goals or too many goals. I mean, there's a tendency that you want to dream, you want to achieve a lot of things within a space of time, but what's the point in setting so many goals and not achieving even a single one, or unrealistic goals, and then at the end of the day you don't even achieve a single one? Instead, what you need to do is to make sure you set a few specific goals and then work hard towards it, so that when you achieve them, they become more like a motivating factor or motivating factors that will push you to achieve that next goal. Apart from the fact that too many goals and unrealistic goals are more like demotivating factors, you realize that it also puts pressure on you, because assuming you have so many financial plans in the year and you have to achieve, you are even tempted to cut corners, do things you're not supposed to do to achieve them, and then to prove a point. But there's no point, because we all have our own journeys, we all have our own destinies, and you have to just be patient enough to set a few specific goals and work towards them. And the next point I like to make is procrastination. A lot of people set so many goals and they want to do this, blah blah blah. You have tons of goals, and even with the few specific goals that some people set, they find it difficult to actually hit the ground going to get started. If it is your plan to even get $1,000 or $10,000 by the end of the year, you don't procrastinate your savings month on month, because when you do that, at the end of the day, you end up achieving nothing. This usually happens when people feel that, okay, they have time, they have more time to save, they have more time to do that. But as we all know, time waits for no man or woman. And when you think that, oh, you have everything under control, you can do it by yourself, and you don't have a specific plan to it, you may be found wanting if you don't start implementing your plans as soon as possible. So procrastination can actually steal your goals away from you, and you want to avoid that. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is irregular reviews, or not reviewing your plans at all. Look, just as you know that things are not really static, unpredictable world that we live in, so many things change day in, day out. A lot of things are changing hands, and you don't want to leave your plans to chance, and your plans should not be cast in concrete, where once you set them, you believe that yes, everything will work for you. You realize that as you go along, you come across a lot of resistance, and some would require that you even make adjustments to your plan. So regular review of your plan. Some you can do a monthly, you can do 2 months, you can do 3 months, whichever one works for you, fine. Make sure you do a regular review of all your plans, so that at the end of the day, the few financial goals that you set for yourself, you're able to do some adjustments to help you achieve them with ease. So the next thing I'd like to draw your attention to is inflation. Do not, please and please do not ignore inflation when you are doing your financial plan, because just as you anticipate that your income will increase, make sure you have a corresponding increment in your expenses, because at the end of the day, the general prices of goods and services are likely to go up, especially in most jurisdictions. You realize that inflation keeps increasing almost every year. So you may want to also protect yourself against inflation, because at the end of the day, what you can afford today with maybe $1 will not be the same as what you can afford tomorrow with the same amount of dollar you have. So you want to have that in mind and put some figures to it. You can get some experts to help you if you don't have the expertise, or you can also monitor and then give yourself some reasonable percentages increase and that will go a long way to help you, because the moment you forget about that, it's possible that you can save as much as you want. But at the end of the day, if it's a plan to buy a house that is selling at 200,000 this year, in 3 years time will not be the same as 200,000. So you would want to be very mindful when you're setting your financial goals. So the final thing I like to also talk about is paying too much debt. It's one of the mistakes a lot of people make. Yes, you have to service your debt early so that you get more money, but don't forget, if it's taking you, let's say, about 10 years or 5 years to pay a certain amount of money, and whatever amount you get or whatever money you get goes into servicing that debt, what it means is that you have less amount of money to even go into investment or savings for yourself. So you don't want to push all your cash or your income into paying debt, and that's the more reasons why you need to even do a personal assessment before you go for any facility to do any activity that you plan on doing. And you have to make sure that if you go for a facility, it's going into an activity that will also generate enough cash for you. If you want me to do a separate video on how you can really go about, or the preparations or the things you need to do before you go for a facility, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to do a video on that. I hope you're going to put this to use, because trust me, at the end of the day, without discipline to implement some of the things you learn in, there is no way you're going to achieve your financial goals. My dream or my hope is that we are able to grow together, and I hope you find this video useful. If you do, please hit on the like button and then subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Let me know in the comment section what you think about today's video. If there's something I left out, something that you want me to talk about, financial management, I'll be very glad to do it. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in my next episode.